All right, let's dive into a leadership crisis that, it's thousands of years old, but you'll see how hauntingly familiar it feels. Just picture this. You're the leader. Your people are facing total, complete annihilation. And every single one of your advisors, they're giving you just awful, terrible options. So, what do?
I mean, just let the weight of these words sink in for a second. There is a remedy for every other curse, but none for one pronounced by one's mother. Whoa. We're not just talking about a challenge here, right? This is a foretold doom, a problem so deep it feels completely, totally inescapable.
So our story kicks off with, you guessed it, a terrible curse. The players here are the Nagas. They're this powerful race of serpent beings from the epic, the Mahabharata. And their situation, let's just say, it is about as bad as it could possibly get.
And this just lays out the sheer hopelessness of it all, doesn't it? The Nagas, they're cursed to die by their own mother, a woman named Kadru. Can you even imagine? And the way they're supposed to die? A massive fire sacrifice, a yagna, that some human king is just about to perform specifically to wipe them out.
So, what exactly is a Sarpa Yagna? It's super important to get this, because it's not just some ritual. Think of it more like a weapon of mass destruction. It's a ceremony with one single, chilling purpose: to wipe the entire serpent race clean off the face of the earth. Yeah, this is the story's ticking clock.
Okay, so with total extinction right around the corner, how does their leader respond? Well, that brings us to the Serpent Council. This is their desperate last-ditch meeting to try and somehow cheat fate.
And this is where we meet their king, a Naga named Vasuki. Now, faced with annihilation, he doesn't freak out. He does what you hope a good leader would do. He gathers his best and brightest. He calls a council, basically banking on the idea that together they can find a way out that he just can't see on his own.
And you can just feel the urgency in his words, right? He's not barking orders. He's appealing to them, to their wisdom, their intelligence, their unity. This is a leader who is desperately trying to build some hope when all they can see is absolute terror.
But here's the thing about desperation. It tends to breed some pretty chaotic and, frankly, dangerous ideas. And that's where we get to the real heart of this conflict, the flood of wild proposals that start flying around that council room.
Okay, so at first, the ideas are kind of what you'd expect, They're clever, they're strategic, and they're not violent. Some of the Nagas suggest, hey, let's use deception. Their plan is to disguise themselves as the king's trusted advisors, or maybe some holy men, and just try to persuade him to call the whole thing off.
But you can feel the mood in the room start to shift. As the real weight of their doom settles in, the tone of the council changes dramatically. All those suggestions about subtle persuasion, they get pushed aside for something much, much darker.
And this is when that desperation just boils over. The new proposal isn't about persuasion anymore. No, it's about assassinating the Brahmanas, the priests who actually know how to perform the sacrifice. We're talking about a plan for mass murder just to ensure their own survival. This is it. This is the moral event horizon for the Nagas.
But wait. Thankfully, not everyone is on board with going down this dark path. A voice of reason actually speaks up from the panicked crowd, trying to remind everyone of who they are, of the principles they're supposed to live by.
And what a powerful counterargument this is. It really makes you think, right? Is survival at any cost actually survival? The idea here is that if you abandon your morals, even to save your own skin, you're just causing a different kind of destruction. And this is the core dilemma that Vasuki, the king, is now facing. So there you have it. The battle lines are drawn. In one corner, you've got the survival by any means necessary crew. And in the other corner, you have the belief that how you survive matters, that choosing evil will only lead to ruin no matter what your intentions are.
And the ideas just don't stop coming. It's like they get more and more chaotic. Let's create a storm to put out the fire. No, let's steal the sacred soma. Let's unleash millions of serpents and just cause mass panic. Forget that, just kidnap the king. Even better, let's just assassinate him. The whole council just descends into this whirlwind of desperate, totally flawed plans.
So after listening to all of this conflicting, panicked advice, the moment of truth finally arrives. It all comes down to their leader, Vasuki, and the impossible choice that he now has to make.
I mean, can you just imagine the tension in that room? The arguments are over. All the desperate, crazy plans are out on the table, and then silence. Every single eye in the room turns to their king, Vasuki. They're all waiting for his decision.
And what he does next, his whole process, really shows you what true leadership under fire looks like. See, he doesn't just react. First, he listens to everyone, the good, the bad, the ugly. Then, he thoughtfully evaluates every single proposal. He rejects the plans that he knows won't actually help them. And maybe most importantly, he accepts that the final call, and whatever comes with it, is entirely on him.
And then comes his decision. He rejects all of it, every single plan, from the clever ones to the downright criminal ones. He sees the fatal flaw in every single one, and he takes complete ownership. He basically says, look, I don't like any of these ideas. I have to decide, and the praise or blame for it, that's on me. Wow, now that is accountability.
And here's what's so crucial about his leadership here. Vasuki doesn't just pick the least bad option from the pile. No, his decision is to reject all of them. He gets that neither violence nor trickery is going to solve a problem this huge. So instead, he chooses to find a third way, a path that none of his advisors could even see.
And that really leaves us with a big question, one that echoes from this ancient story right into our own lives today. When everyone around you is panicking, when all the advice you're getting is just plain bad, and the stakes couldn't possibly be higher, how does a true leader find the courage and the wisdom to create a totally new path, one that nobody else can even imagine?